Today, we are moving on to statements. So I did do a little bit of that in the last video, just expression statements, but we're going to take it a little bit farther and we're going to start by parsing variables and then handling assignment of variables. First global, and then we're gonna do scoped variables, so like local variables. And then if there's time, we can move on to if statements and for loops and while loops. So we'll see what happens. And I'm just gonna get into coding. Okay, let us write a test for variables, do global variables, and then we'll do local variables after this, I think. And we're gonna pass some stuff in. So we're gonna say expectation. Expectation is a tuple, and then first part of it will be the source, which is a string, and then last will be answer, and that will be, let's return an int for these ones. We're just gonna test assigning a integer variable. So say we say let variable equal 1, and then we're gonna do semicolon, semicolon, and then we're gonna just say variable. So the way I have it set up right now is the last statement will just be what the program returns. So that would mean that it should return 1 because we set that variable. So think of this as 2 lines. I'm separating with a semicolon, but it could be a new line here as well. Actually, let's do that. Let's do a new line instead. Okay, so we got this. Okay, so we can do our stuff that we normally do. Just gonna go ahead and copy and paste all this in this too, but we want to have it be an int. Okay, so we run that, it should fail. Cool. All right, we threw an error, which is expected. Let's just stop that test. The first thing we got to do, as per usual, is to parse. Let's see. That is going to be a new level of precedence, so it's going to be above statement. So let's just do this. Well, it's going to be below. So if it's higher in the chain, that means it's lower because we're going top down. So we're just going to say func declaration, it throws. So we're just going to say here, we're going to call declaration. So we want that to be the highest one. I feel like I have not been consistent with my naming. So we're going to change this to statement. And then we're going to leave that as declaration. Okay, so here we are going to be looking for the let keyword. So if match let, then we're gonna turn a new function where we're actually gonna do the work. So okay, and if it doesn't have anything, we're just gonna do a return statement if it's not a statement. If it's not a var. And then from there, we're just gonna say, we wanna get an identifier. So we're gonna say consume token type identifier. Okay, so, and then we're gonna say the initializer, which would be what we're initializing the variable to. That'll be an expression. So we're actually setting it to be optional. So it's gonna be an expression, an optional expression. If we're gonna check for an equal sign, the expression initializer. I'll just say parse an expression and set that equal to initializer. From there, we will check if we get a semicolon or a new line after that. Advance. We're gonna throw parser error, and then just gonna return a variable. So we actually need to add that to the abstract syntax tree. So we're gonna make that an expression, I believe. Yeah. So we just have variable name be a string, or no, it'd be an identifier. Or actually, yeah, we're just gonna make it a string. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, we gotta set the name and then name. Oh, it actually. Oh, okay. Yeah, we actually want variable to be a statement. So let me move it up here with the other statements, and then we don't want that to be optional now that I think about it. Okay, let's run our tests, see if it's, well, it should still fail, but we're not throwing a parser error anymore. Okay, so we also need a variable expression, I'm realizing. So let's change this to variable statement, and then back here. So we're gonna say when there's an identifier, we're gonna return this var expression. So change the name of this. We did not check for identifier, so identifier. Let token prev. Actually, all right, we already know it's an identifier here, so we're gonna say previous.lexeme. Okay, let's make sure it still builds. It does, and we're still failing as we would expect it to. So next thing is we have to create environments. What environments do is just hold our variables and state of the interpreter. So we're gonna create a new file, and we're gonna name it env, and env will just contain the state of the project. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna say values, and that's just gonna be a dictionary. It's gonna be dictionary. I think this is gonna have to be a class though, because it has to point to other environments later on. So we're gonna say string and then any. So string will just be the name of the variable, and then any will be whatever the value of the variable is. And then we need a init. Boom. Okay. Yeah, we need a method to define a variable. So okay. All right, so we have that, and then we need something to get our variables as well. So, and that is just gonna make it throw. So if it doesn't, gotta create an error again. So we're gonna say variable, and then we're gonna pass in a string. So define variable. The string will just be the name, and then there we go, and then return value. Cool. Okay. Now we head over to the evaluator again, and then we need to use that env class we just created. Actually, we need to do this instead. So we want to initialize this to empty values, actually. So we don't need this init. Okay, so if we have a variable expression, or a variable statement, not variable expression, we're gonna create a function statement, return that method, and now in here we're gonna do the actual work. So let's see. In the book, it has what's it called, the initializer to be able to be nil. Oh. Maybe I do want it to be nil now that I'm thinking about it, because we want to be able to declare a variable and not set it to anything. So we're actually going to make this optional. That kind of simplifies things, because we don't have to we can just set it to nil or set it to null if it already if they don't put an initializer on it. Yeah. So we're gonna go back to the parser and change that So we actually do allow it to be nil. Okay, that should still build. It doesn't build because I didn't finish writing this. Okay, so all right, the value will be expression, I believe. No, it's gonna be any. Okay, so we're gonna say if let statement, or no, initializer equals statement down initializer. Then we're gonna say value is, and we're gonna do eval expression. So okay, and then from there we're just gonna define a variable on our env. So the name will be statement name, value will be value. Okay, we actually need to allow nil be passed in there. So we'll make that optional. And then from there, we're just gonna return nil from this because the statement doesn't return a value. At least a variable statement doesn't. Okay, so from there, we just have to handle variable expressions. So that will be in our expression, val expression. So I'm really not consistent with my naming. I should do something about that, but not today. Let's see. Turn. Okay, so if it is a variable expression, we're just gonna say try to get that variable from the environment. Okay, and then from there, I think this could possibly pass. We'll see. It did. Okay, so we're able to parse variables now and evaluate variables. From there, we have to handle assignment of variables that already exist. So let's see. Gotta take a sip of my energy drink. All right. So we're gonna, as per usual, add something to our what's it called? Our AST. So assignment is an expression. Nope. And that will have a value, which will be an expression. Okay, so we're gonna go to the parser. So where are we at? Okay, so assignment has the lowest precedent. So we're actually going to move it up to here, but first we have to create a function. So func rows turns an expression. Cool. So from here we just have to parse that. Did I skip over? Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Ignore me. So we're gonna say let expression equal comparison. So we're gonna say if we find an equal sign, let the token equal prev. So we're gonna grab the previous token, and then we're gonna recursively call assignment here. So we're gonna call try, or I'm gonna call it with try. And I believe the reason we have to recursively call it is because we only allow looking ahead one token, and it kind of has to go through the entire, has to parse the whole thing before it knows that we're actually at an assignment. So we kind of gotta recursively go through it. It's a little tricky. And then we check if the expression is a variable expression, and if it is, we say name, or at bar expression dot name. And then we're just gonna return and assign name is name value. Actually, I'm being stupid. I want to cast it and check if it's a variable. So, and then this will just be value, and we're just gonna turn the expression down here. And here, if we get past this and we have not returned, we're gonna throw an error. Okay. So this is probably not the error we want. We want to say. So we're gonna say invalid sign. Okay. Actually, think I should be writing a test here. So I believe we can use the same test though. Okay, so we're gonna say let We're also gonna check the semicolons too this time, so I'm gonna use semicolons instead of new lines. So what we're doing here is, and that is expected, I believe. So what we're doing here is we're saying let variable equal 1, and then we're reassigning it to 2, and then we're making sure that it returns 2. I don't believe this is the correct error we want to be getting, though. Not sure why we're saving this. The token here. So I'm just going to delete that. Oh, because we want to throw it in the air. Alright. Okay, so we're not correctly parsing just yet. Let's run this one more time. See. Okay, so it's happening. Invalid token. Oh, okay, so we're not. So it's confused about the equal sign. Oh, so what it looks like is we're going here, and then it's passing over the variable. I mean, it's passing over the identifier and hitting the equal sign. Set a new breakpoint and see. Yeah, it's never getting to this part. Oh, wait, goddamn. Okay, I only want to run one test, actually. So we're gonna stop that and just run this test by itself. Okay, so let's look at where we are. We're at integer 1. That makes sense. Okay, we're at the equal sign here. And then I'm guessing it's gonna throw that error. Yeah. Yeah, so parsing expression statement. There's trying assignment. Yeah, when it gets here, it's, yeah, I don't think, let me run that one more. Yeah, okay. So, okay, it's already to the semicolon here. What the heck is going on? Okay, so seems like the previous is the where we should be. So I'm guessing we're just skipping over the identifier for some reason. Let's take a look at our parsing code. Statement equal try declaration, boom, var declaration. So it gets this expression statement. Let's put it right there. So by the time it gets to parsing this expression statement, it's already past the identifier. So we go here, try assignment, and then that's when we get here. The comparison, it tries to parse an equal sign, which is not what it expects. Okay. My guess is there's something wrong with how I'm parsing expression statements. Okay. You know what? I bet I need to move this shit over. Like, take that out. Consume. Wait, not consume. If semicolon or. Okay, we're still failing, but we're not throwing an error anymore. Wait, we actually might be. Actually, I accidentally turned off the breakpoints. I'm done. Yeah, let's see if we're throwing this. Yeah, we're still throwing the error. Okay, now we're throwing error in a different spot. So that was wrong. So if I change that, how many things fail? Yeah, parse binary and parse literal now fail. But I believe I do have to make this happen here. So okay, I probably don't need this. Okay, I'm gonna say if not match. Row error. Okay, that caused everything to fail now. But I believe this is a necessary refactor. I believe we want to do something here. Okay, this is not. It's not great. Not great, bro. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna undo those changes for now. Get back to mostly passing. Okay, so from here. Yeah, I don't think that I should be. First of all, I don't think I should be checking for the new lines here. Maybe I should be Okay, we're still passing almost everything. Oh boy. Okay, so I believe there's probably just an advance somewhere where we don't want it. It's probably. Alright, first of all, we need to get rid of this advance. Okay, still same stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna see if it's the semicolons though. That would be funny. Okay, it's not that good. Okay, we're gonna leave those. And been filming for an hour and have made almost no progress. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna say that's not true. I've made progress. Yeah. All right, I know what's the issue. I believe it's just we're advancing somewhere where we shouldn't. Yeah, it's right here. This. Okay. Peak. This point. Yeah, we're at the semicolon. Here we're. How do we hit? Oh, I think it's because I was in the previous test. Okay, now we're a equal sign. So wish I could just only. You know what? What I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna comment this guy out for now, so I don't get confused. Okay. Yeah, that is what I expect. That is not what I expect. So, or is it? Okay. Run this. Put the breakpoint up there. Okay, now we're not throwing that error. What the hell? What is going on now? Because now we're getting into this. Alright, we're just gonna set hella breakpoints. See what the heck is happening. Okay, so we're returning an assignment. I don't know, what did I change that caused that to happen now? Oh, I guess because I moved this stuff. Alright, so okay, so is this just because I'm not checking for the semicolon now? Oh wait, no, there's no semicolon. Run assignment, but it is after an expression statement. The fuck? So why would it throw this error then? Oh, okay, now that's causing many more failures. Oh God, brother. You don't want to check for that, huh? Yeah, that's causing a lot of failures. I think I might need to go through check for that semicolon here instead of just skipping over it. Okay. This won't change anything, but it just looks. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to come back to this later. So I will see you in probably a split second, but for me it'll probably be several hours. I did write a test, so if we take a look, so this test was failing on the parsing step, so I wrote a test just to check parsing, and I'm passing that now. So what I'm doing is I'm setting a variable, and then I'm reassigning that variable, and then I'm checking whether that variable has the parser created an assignment and with the value of 3 and the name variable. And it does pass. I will run it one more time for proof. Boom. This is still failing because I have not actually gone through evaluating the assignment. So we're gonna do that now. It should be fairly simple, but I've said things are simple before and then they weren't. And then I had to stop filming and get stuck and confused. So here we go. We're gonna worry about assignment now. So where the heck am I in my doggone book? They talking about Turing machines? That's gonna be the next chapter. All right. So global variables. So we're parsing And then all we have to do is, it's really actually quite simple what we have to do to evaluate an assignment. So we're gonna go up here and we're gonna say, we're gonna add another case for an expression and let assign as assign. Then we're gonna return another function. We're gonna call that eval assign. We haven't created it yet, so we will go ahead and create it. I'm just gonna add it right here. Eval assign. We're gonna have to actually pass in the expression. As for use, that'll be an assign. I'm gonna throw, and it's gonna return any. So I'm gonna change this to pass in the assign. Cool. And then in here, we're just gonna get the name of the assign. So it's gonna be expression.name, and then we're just gonna return, or no, we're not gonna return. We're gonna, actually, will we return? Yeah, so we're gonna return the value actually. So that's gonna be whatever the new value is. So, oh, we actually need to get the value, not the name. So we're gonna say eval expression. We're gonna pass in the value, which is any expression. We're gonna return that value, and then up here we're gonna say environment dot assign. So this hasn't been created yet though. So we're gonna say assign, and we're just gonna say value. Honestly, assign seems like it really does the same thing as define, but we're just gonna assume the book is right. Let's see. So expression name value, we're gonna pass in a value, and then we're gonna go over to, and then add a new function called assign. It's gonna take in a name and a value. Oh, I know why we need a separate method. It is because we wanna throw an error if that variable does not exist. So we're gonna say, well, first we're gonna check to see if that is nil. So, or no, guard values not equal to nil. So if it's equal to nil, we're gonna throw undefined var, and then we're just gonna say name. And then if it is, we're just gonna assign it. Cool. So that should work. Error not handled. So we're gonna say throws. So it's not gonna build just yet, I don't think. And then so return an optional, and let's run the test, see if it passes. And we are passing. We can now save variables. I think off video I'm going to add some more test cases, because right now we are only testing for the happy path, aka the path where everything works. We want to actually test error scenarios as well, but I don't want to do that right now because it's boring. So next thing we have to handle is local variables, so scope variables. Say you have a block of code, we want to say if we let a variable here, so let var equal 1, or not let var, variable, we can't call it var in Swift. But anyway, so say we have it here, and then we also have let variable equal 2. So as most languages have what's called shadowing. So in here, we have created a variable of the same name as out here. So anything in here would be, you access variable, it'll be equal to 1. But if you access it out here, it'll be equal to 2 because it's in a larger scope. So we have to implement that in our language, and that shouldn't be too difficult. But again, I keep saying that. I should stop saying that. It's stupid to say it because then it is difficult. And then I look stupid and everyone laughs. So to do this, we just have to have a reference to the enclosing environment. So as you create new scopes, we're gonna add another environment that will be enclosed in the outer environment. So the top environment will be the global one. So we're gonna say our enclosing, and that'll be an env. It's gonna be optional, and that way we know that if enclosing is equal to nil, then we know that we're at the global scope. So we're just gonna say init, and enclosing. So when we create a smaller environment, we're going to pass in enclosing, and that'll be the environment that we're at. That'll be the global environment that we're passing in. And as we go deeper in scopes, it'll be the one enclosing that environment. Again, I'm not the best at explaining this stuff because I'm learning it as I go. If you really want to know it, please just read the book that is free online. I'm sorry that I'm pulling a cyber shells. Read it yourself, nerd, or whatever he does. But honestly, sometimes you just gotta just read it. RTFM. So, all right. I said that to my friend the other day. They were having trouble installing something, and I was like, RTFM. And they were like, that's rude, because I had to Google what that meant. And then I got offended. I was like, it stands for read the fucking manual. Anyway, so let's see. Nesting and enclosing. So, all right, we did that. We have to update our get method. So go here. So instead of just, so, all right, so if enclosing equals nil, we're gonna return, if enclosing is not equal to nil, we're gonna do it in here. So we're gonna do it in the guard. So delete this empty space. So if enclosing is not equal to nil, then we want to return enclosing get. Yep. So here's what we're doing here. We're checking if that value exists at the name. Then we are checking if that, actually want to do enclosing. So if let enclosing equals enclosing. So, all right, if enclosing is not nil, then we will recursively call get on the other env that is enclosing our current env. And then from there, we have to update assign. So what assign does, again, we are going to do the same thing basically. Our if let closing, going to say enclosing dot assign. So again, we're just recursively calling this, and then we don't want to fall through, so we're going to go return, and we don't need that for define because define always happens on the current environment. By current environment, I mean the one that has the current scope. So from here, we have to implement blocks. So anything enclosed in curly braces would be a block. Another initializer. So we're gonna say init, and then init we're not gonna do anything, but this will initialize an env with enclosing equal to nil. Okay, we're looking good. All right, so now we have to parse blocks. So we're gonna go here. A block is a statement. So this is becoming a long video, but hopefully I paused enough that I can cut all that out and it won't be too long. And a block is just a list of statements. So we're gonna just have an array statements, and then we're gonna parse that up here. We should probably write a test for this. So one little thing I actually learned about Swift testing is when you pass in the arguments, before I was passing in tuples, just so it wouldn't use every combination of each one. So say we had two arrays of arguments, it would go through each array and go through. So if one array was like 1, 2, 3, the other one was 4, 5, 6, it would run the test with 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 1 and 6, and then 2 and 4, 2 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 6. And I don't want that because these need to be the same. They had to line up. So what I wanted was 1, 4, 2 and 5, 3 and 6. And I found out if you just pass in zip, I don't know why it's called zip, but it causes it to do it as a sequence. So I learned that. And will I refactor my code? No. Parse block. We're gonna grab all this nonsense. Boom. We're gonna say source is block. So we're gonna say let 1 or 2 or 1. We're gonna do a line break, and then we're gonna have a block, and we're gonna say let variable equal 3, and then do another backslash, and then we're gonna say variable. So the last statement will be at the end of that block. It should return 3 and not 1, because 1, well, actually, let's even get a little cheeky about it. So we're gonna go here, add another line break, and then variable. Well, actually, I'm not evaluating, so this actually is useless. All right, actually, we're gonna say 1. We're gonna pass in 1 and 3. So say source the string. That's gonna be the first thing passed in, and then second is gonna be a tuple of int. I'm gonna call it expectation. Sometimes I still have to use tuples though, unfortunate. So, all right, no failure. So we're gonna say my test passed, right? I did. This stuff is still stuck around. I think it's a bug with Xcode, or I know it's a bug with Xcode. Anyway, so from here we're gonna have a number of statements. So we want to say 1, 2, 3, 4 statements. The block itself. So actually it's gonna be 3 statements probably. So the first statement, the block, and then another statement. So we're gonna say, how do we want to do this? Okay. Making this hard on myself. Equal. So it's gonna be program statements. So the block is gonna be the second statement. So we're gonna say this block, and then the variable is gonna be the last one. There's gonna be an expression statement. Third one as or no, var. Stupid. All right, that is gonna be a var statement actually. All right, so we're gonna say expectation. What's the problem here, bro? Oh, so see block, block, and then so we want the second statement of block. So var equal block statements. So we're gonna get the second one, and that will be again as var statement. Block var. Block var should be 3. So God, yeah, the initializer is gonna be another expression. Wait, oh, these aren't variable statements. These are variable expression. Oh yeah, these are gonna be expression statements. Never mind. So expression. Cast that expression as. Also, I'm realizing that. So earlier I was doing a lot of if lets and guard lets in my tests. It doesn't really matter if the tests crash. We actually do want them to crash earlier if they're wrong. So I'm fine with having the force unwraps. Oh yeah, we gotta get the value. So damn. So it's just gonna test parsing them though. We can, you know what? We should. This test is not great because all I can get at the parse stage is the name of the variable, not the actual value. I'm realizing. So how can we do this? Can I make the? Unfortunately, I think we have to write a whole. We have to evaluate it first before we can test it. I think. So we're gonna put the env. So we're gonna say run eval, and then I don't know if I can do this actually. The environment should really be private though. So this isn't gonna work. I give up. I'm gonna edit this out probably. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to evaluate blocks. So what do we do? So it's gonna be up in statements. So case let turn. So we got this. So what do we do? So we're gonna let the previous environment equal current environment. We're gonna say let new. We're gonna say, and then we're gonna we have to pass in an environment. Oops. An enclosing environment. So we're gonna pass that in. So we're gonna say this. Hold on to the previous environment. Set a new environment. We're gonna just loop through the statements. There we're just gonna say we're gonna the previous one. I want to test this. I'm just gonna set this. We gotta figure out a way to test this because this is gonna work. It might not work. So, all right, let's see. How can we test this? All right, we're gonna say 1 equal. In some parentheses, we're gonna shadow those 3 vars. So, as a test, I think for now, I'm just gonna run this test and then check whether it throws an error. All that jazz. So we're actually just gonna have var 1 at the end. So we want to, since it's global, we expect it to equal global. Answer. Will this work? I don't know. So we're getting an invalid token, probably because I did not parse the damn blocks. Oh God, I'm so stupid. So I forgot, I skipped over the parser. Probably because I didn't write a test and I forgot. So let's do that. We gotta parse those. Not parse. I forgot to put, forgot to check for left brackets. So let's see. So in statement, if match left brace, then turn. I'm gonna create that. We're gonna create an empty array of statements. While we are not at a right brace. Append and declaration. But we gotta say try. After that, we're gonna just try to consume that right brace that we did not hit. What's your problem, bro? We got it's optional, dude. So we have to say block. Okay. Test pass. We did it. Now I can finally end this godforsaken video. This is like the longest one I have made yet. But we did it. We're good. Thank you for watching. I have been Maddie. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for the new subscribers. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay, I'm insane. All right, bye.